Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the features of a PE800. And this is an embroidery machine. And the first thing I want to show you is the on and off switch right here. So you would just press the switch and that turns your machine on. And it also has a light underneath it. And over here is your panel, which is a touch screen panel. And also on the side there is a USB port, and this is where you would put your USB stick. So the first thing you want to do after you turn your machine on is just press this. Okay, and then this says the needle is down. Press the needle in the up position. And that's probably because I was doing some things to it earlier. So this is the wheel that I use to turn it. So it's telling me it's not in the correct position. So what I'm going to do is this little needle icon, I'm just going to press that. Okay. So this is what should have come up when I first turned it on. It says the carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Keep your hands and etc. away from the carriage. So once you make sure that your carriage area is clear, which is this right here, so then the next thing you're going to do is just press OK. And then that carriage is going to move. So then after that, then you got your different little embroidery icons on here. And this right here is the USB port. And this is your machine. And these right here are the different built-in designs or shapes. And then you have your fonts. You have two different font styles. And then up here you have different other files that you can choose from. So the first one I'm going to hit is the little ABC with the flowers. And then there's several, this right here tells you there's 8 pages for this. And then the way you would get to that is these little arrows down here. You hit either one of these arrows to go forward or backwards. So as I'm pressing the forward arrow, it's taking me through the different pages of designs. Okay. So, and up here it's showing you the different size frames that this machine will take. And the largest frame that it will take is a 5x5. I'm sorry, a 5x7. Okay. So, for me to get out of this, I'm just going to hit this little arrow here. And that takes me back to the home page. And over here are your plain fonts. And this one you have 2 pages of fonts. So there's a total of 10 different styles that you can choose from. But in order to create words with these, you have to go in and press the fonts one at a time. So I'm just going to press the first one here. And your word will appear in this line up here. Let's see. I'm going to do apple. Got A. And so to get to the P, I'm going to have to hit my forward arrow. And then here's the P. And sometimes if the font becomes too big for the largest hoop, which is the 5x7, then it's going to tell me that it's too large. So now I'm going to hit this to go back to the L. Okay, so here it is. Pattern extends outside of the embroidery frame. But I can turn it at a 90-degree angle. So it's bigger than the 5-inch, but it's not bigger than the 7. So this right here will allow me to turn it to a 90-degree angle, which is going to be sideways in the hoop. But I'm just going to cancel this. Okay. So I'm going to delete that and go to the lowercase. So I'm just going to hit my arrow here till I get to the lowercase letters. Okay, so that one fits. And right here it's telling me the size. It is 1.38 by 4.37 wide. So that will fit into the 5x7 hoop. I didn't even pay attention to what size the other one was, but this right here will fit perfectly into the 5x7 hoop. And down here, you have the option to pick large fonts, medium, or small fonts. Okay, so let's get back out of that. Okay, hit OK. Then we're going to get out of the fonts. Now let's check out some of the embroidery designs. So this one has 13 pages of embroidery designs. So I'm just going to hit the arrow and let you see a couple of the designs that are in here. It has 13 pages. I'm on number 10 now. Okay, so on this particular icon, there are 51 designs. So let's escape out of that one. And let's check this one. This one has 14 pages. So it does give you a lot of different options as far as designs that you can use while you are learning how to embroidery. See, you can make a birthday shirt. It has the different designs with numbers. And then it has just a little car and a teddy bear, lips, mustache, glasses, tie. So there's a lot of stuff that you can choose from. So this one has a total of 55 designs. So that's a total of 106 designs that you have to choose from that you could use. Okay, so now we're going to get out of this. So I'm just going to hit this arrow, back arrow. And there's another thing I want to show you in this font. Okay, we're going to do the apple again. And as you know, it's going to tell me it's too big whenever I try to do this E. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel. And then here, because it's on large, I want to change it to medium. So I just hit the M. And so see how it allowed me to go ahead and put that E. So now it's telling me that this is 0.60 by 2.61 wide. So which is not very big. Okay, so say for instance you wanted to make another line of text. The way you would do that is this little arrow here that's pointing to the left. You just hit that and see how it changed line 2. Okay, so let me see if it'll let me go to another line. Okay, so it did. So that's how you would create your different lines. Let me do this. Okay, so that also fits inside of that. Well, this one's small enough to fit inside of a 4x4 hoop. So see, you just keep hitting that little arrow, I guess, until it fills up a hoop. You can keep doing that. But that's how you will get more than one line of text. Then you also have your numbers and your different characters here as well that you can use. So it's telling me I can't use this little small hoop. That's what the little circle and the red circle with the line drawn through it is telling me I can't use that hoop. But I can use a 4x4 or a 5x7 hoop. But this machine only comes with the 5x7 hoop. So you are able to purchase the smaller hoops for this machine. Okay, so we're going to get out of that. I'm going to hit OK to delete that. So the next thing I'm going to show you is down here. I just press this little icon. It looks like a piece of paper, and that takes you inside the machine. And this is showing the embroidery frame, which is the 5x7. Okay, and this has like 6 pages in it. So let's go on. So this one shows the maximum speed, which is 650. Let me see if it'll go up anymore. Okay, so that's as high as it'll go. It's 650, but you can turn it down. So for instance, if you wanted the machine to go slower, you would just hit the minus. And then your ruler here, I have mine set in inches. Okay. Okay, and this page right here, page 3, has your tension, which you normally do not need to be going in and adjusting your tension. Your tension is what I don't want to say, your tension is what shows you how your threads are going to look, whether they're going to be loose or tight. So that's why you don't want to keep messing with your tension, because that's why you can have your threads messed up. Okay, and then this is your needle up and down position and the buzzer. So if you don't want your buzzer on, you can just select off. And then if you don't want to see that opening screen every time you cut it on, you can just turn it off. And this is right here where you would select your language for your machine. Okay, and it also has the light. So if you don't want the light on, you can turn it off. The input sensitivity is how sensitive your panel is. So I don't mess with that. And let's see what else we got in here. Okay, your service count. This is your total number of stitches for your machine. So if you ever want to see the number of stitches that you have on your machine, this is where you would go to see it. Okay. So now the next thing I want to show you. Let's see. I think this is okay. That's what this is for. It's showing you how to load your bobbin and also how to thread your machine. And then this is showing you the bobbin winder. This machine has a bobbin winder on it as well. So that's what that is. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the top of the machine, and this is what it looks like. And here's the bobbin winder right here. If you wanted to wind a bobbin, you would just drop your bobbin on here, press it until it locks in here, and then let your machine do the rest. This little green light here, this will be a green light. You just press that green light. But also you have to make sure you're following this little diagram here as well to thread for that bobbin. So you just have your thread here, and then you would go here, and then you would come over here, loop it around back this way. That's number 3, and then your bobbin goes on, which is number 4, and then you lock it in. So there are numbers on here for you to follow in order to thread your machine. So the first thing you would do is put your spool here. Then you're going to go over here to number 1 and down around this little bar and back up and around this, and you would come down, follow it all the way down, and then it's going to loop around this number 3, because the arrows are showing you which way you need to go. You're going to go up, and then this would be number 4, which is that little hook. Your thread will go around that hook, and then you will come back down to number 5, which would be to loop it around this little piece here. And then it also has an automatic threader, which you would just, once you hook it around here, you will bring your thread over here, and then there's a lever here that you would press, and that should thread your needle. And then you have your bobbin. This is your bobbin housing right here, And this little button here, you can depress that to open it up. And that little plastic piece will pop up. And this is where you would put your bobbin. And your bobbin also has a diagram of how it should be. So when you put your bobbin in, you want to bring it around this way. And then you're going to loop it around here. And just bring it back over here. And then you would just lock it back. Just like that. So then your bobbin is ready. So these little icons here, this is your needle. This moves your needle up and down. And then you have your scissors here. That cuts your thread. Say for instance, you were doing something and you wanted to stop and maybe take your hoop off your machine. Then you would just cut your threads here with this. Hit that and that will cut your thread. Okay, so let's load one of these pre-made designs onto the machine. Okay, I'm going to go into this one and I'm going to select that butterfly. Okay, so this is the size of the butterfly. It is 2.90 by 3.15. And so that one will fit onto the 4x4 hoop. But it won't fit onto this hoop. So I'm satisfied with that. So the next thing I will do is just hit set. So now that brought it over to my embroidery panel. So once over here, it's still showing your size up here at the top. So anytime you want to see the size of a file, just look right here. It'll tell you the size of your file. Then you have move, size, rotate. And then you also have your little binoculars here. So this allows you to change the size of that design. You can go all the way up to 300% on that design. So see, I matched 125. That zoomed it in some for you so that you can see what all is on there. Because sometimes some of these icons are so small, you can hardly see it. So this is what you use to magnify it. So I'm going to put it back on 100%. And then, since I'm satisfied with this, this is what I want, I'm going to hit OK. Then the next thing is you have your move icon. So say for instance, you want to move it from here. It came into the machine and it centered it within that hoop. So say for instance, you wanted it in a different spot. You didn't want it to be centered. So then you would just hit your move icon and you can move this up and down or sideways. So if I was to press this, I don't know if you can see it, but it is moving. So I can no longer use that 4x4 hoop because it's out of that 4x4 hoop. So now if I wanted to do it up here, I would have to use the bigger hoop, which will be the 5x7. So say for instance, if I wanted to add some words to this, would be the reason why I moved this up. Then I'm no longer going to be able to use that 4x4 hoop. I will have to use the 5x7. And I just press that little center and it brought it back to the center. So now again I can use that 4x4 hoop. And say for instance, if I wanted to size it a little bigger, if I want it to be bigger than that 2.90 by 3.15, just hit my size. And it has different directions that you can size in or size out, size up, or size inward to bring it in. So the one with the 4 arrows pointing in, that means you're going to make all 4 of these sizes smaller. When you hit that, that's going to make your butterfly smaller. And this one here that has the 2 arrows pushed in, which would mean your top and bottom, it's just going to resize that part. So say for instance, you don't want it to be 2.90. You might be wanting it to be an inch. Then this is what you're going to use. It's this second one. And this one here, size it. This will be your width. So say for instance, you don't want it to be 3.15, then you're going to use this one. And it has the arrows pointing in. That means that your width is going to be smaller. And this one with the arrows pointing out on all 4 corners means that you're going to increase the size lengthwise and widthwise. And then this one, you just want to increase it. You want to give it more height. Then this is the one you would use with the 2 arrows pointing outwards. And if you wanted to give it more width, then you're just going to use this one. So I'm going to press this first one, and notice it's 2.90 by 3.15. So when I press this, it's going to change. So see, it just changed. 2.84 by 3.09. And see, it's going, and after a while, it's going to stop. It's going to beep. And that means I can't make it any smaller. So, okay, that's as small as I can go. Okay. So now I'm going to press this one to increase the size. Let's see how far it'll let me go with this. See, it's now already bigger than it was originally. It is now 3.01 by 3.28. Okay, so that's as far as I can go on this. And it still will fit within that 4x4 hoop. Okay, so now I'm going to hit OK. Next thing is you rotate. And these are the different directions that you can rotate. You can go 90 degrees to the right, 90 degrees to the left. So see, it turned it sideways. Or I can go turn that way. Okay. And that just turned it a little bit at 10%. Just turned it 10%. So now it's no longer going to be able to fit in that 4x4 hoop, so you're going to have to use the 5x7 hoop. So now it'll again go into that 4x4 hoop. Okay. And then if you want to flip it, that's what this is for. So see how it changed? And if you didn't want this design, then you could just go here and click delete. And this add button, it allows you to add another file to this, as long as it's going to fit within that 4x4 or 5x7 hoop, you can add. So say for instance you want to add a word to this, you would just hit your add, then go over here and select this to hit your word. Okay, so I put Jill. Now I'm going to hit set. So anytime you input something, it's always going to come in on the center. Okay, so then this is where your move would come in handy. Say for instance I wanted that to be up there. It has a red box around it, so that lets you know which file is selected. So I can move Jill. Okay, so I can no longer use that 4x4 hoop. So if I'm satisfied with that there, I'm just going to hit OK. And then I want to select that butterfly. And I want to move it down some. So see, this is going to go in that 5x7 hoop. So then I can click OK. So even if you don't have software, embroidery software, you still can do a lot on your machine. So say I'm satisfied with this. So if you're satisfied with your design, the next thing you're going to do is hit this edit end. Okay, so now it is ready to be embroidered. But before you embroider, you always want to do a trace out within your hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hoop on the machine. Okay, so this is my hoop. This is the 5x7 hoop. And there is a bracket right here. And this is what your hoop is going to fit on. Because it also has the little bracket holder here. So these two will fit down over that bracket. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Okay, I'm gonna get it after a while. And once you get it on, and you just want to press it down. I think I got it on here. Okay, so it snaps in. So now let's just press this right here, and then I'm gonna press it again. Okay, so it just moved, so it will fit within that 5x7 hoop without the arms of the well, the presser foot rather, without the presser foot hitting the hoop. So you always want to make sure that your presser foot is clear of this hoop. You don't want it touching any parts of this hoop because it could break your presser foot. Okay, so once you've done that, then you can just hit OK. That'll take you back over here. So then if you're ready to embroidery, the next thing you would do, just hit your embroidery icon. And then it will take you to your colors that you're going to be using. Okay, so this has 6 different colors. 6 different color changes right here. Shows you your color changes. And this here is the amount of stitches. And this is your estimated time, which is 19 minutes. Then your first color stitch out is going to be this lilac, and it's going to stitch the entire butterfly. That's going to take 11 minutes. So that's where the majority of your time is, in this first stitch out, because it's going to do that entire butterfly. Then your next color is going to be white, which is only going to take about a minute. It's a minute or less, but it always defaults to 1 minute. And then your next color is a pink, which is also going to be about a minute. And then you have your yellow, which will be that little yellow flower. Okay. It's not going to let me go to the next page. I thought it would let me go to the next page, but it's not. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me go here. And this right here is what you will use if you need to go back some stitches. Say for instance, you needed, your machine ran out of thread and you didn't realize it. So what you would need to do is hit this, and this will let you go back. And these are the amount of stitches that it will allow you to go back. And you can press this as many times as you want. And it will also subtract your stitches up here as well. So the top line is, if you wanted to go back, this is what you would do. Just hit this. If you want to go back 1 stitch, that first one will take you back 1 stitch. 10 stitches would be the second one. 100 stitches would be the third one. But say for instance, if you wanted to move back 300 stitches, you would just press that three times, and that will take you back 300 stitches. And then this here with the plus, that's going to take you 40 stitches. Say for instance, you wanted to skip over a part, which I don't know why you would want to, but just say for instance you want to skip over it. Then you would go here. You can go 1 stitch, 10 stitches, or 100. And however many times you want to go, that's however many times you want to press this. Say for instance you want to do 500, hit that 5 times. If you want to do 50, hit this 5 times. Then you hit OK. This right here, this 0, will take you all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so then you have your thread. You can move up in colors or back in colors. Okay, yeah, this is what I need to move up. So I want to go up. So that took me to the second color. So that first color was 5103. And that took 12 minutes. Okay, so this takes me to the second color. And I press it again, that takes me to the third color. So it's already 13 minutes into this stitch out. And that took me to the fourth color. I think it was 4 colors on that first page. Okay, this takes me to the fifth color. So I'm here. Okay, so here are the other colors on here. Then you could have another, look like hot pink again. That's going to be like 2 minutes or less. And then it has your black, which is going to be 3 minutes or less. And once it does that black, it will be finished. So it's like already 16 minutes into the stitch out by the time you get here. So that's how you move forward in your colors and move forward or backwards in your stitches. You just hit this needle with the minus and plus beside it. And then this is your thread colors, and these are your needle stitches. And you can just hit OK. And you don't have to use these exact colors that it has here. You can use whatever colors you want. Say for instance you want that pink to be red. So when it comes to this, you would just put your red thread on instead of pink. So whatever colors you want, whenever it comes to that part of design, then that's what you will change your thread colors to. And then the black would be that name, which you could also change it to a different color if you wanted to. Okay, so then once you're finished with this, once you get to the end, it will tell you that it's finished. Okay, so let's get back out of this. Okay, so say for instance you want to save that, you just hit this and that will save it to your machine. And you also have the option to save it to your USB stick. So this one is for the machine. If you want to save it onto your machine, you would just hit this one. If you want to save it onto your USB stick, you would just load your USB stick in here. And once you load your USB stick, then you would just press that icon and it will allow you to save it to your USB stick. So say for instance, if you wanted to use this again, then you would just save it. Okay, so we're back out of that. Okay, so I think I've gone through just about everything on here. So if you have any questions about this machine, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And also don't forget to hit the like button, give me a thumbs up. And if you are a first time viewer to this channel, please subscribe so that you will be able to see any videos that I upload in the future. And if you are already a current subscriber, thank you for watching. Until next time.